Settle down. Stocks for your companies are an imaginary number. Suicide Squad committed suicide in a week, and the only time people bring you up on Twitter is to talk smack. It's time to snap back to reality, so let me present to you about... Hey all you idiots in the boardroom, how does it feel to have a game with a budget of $500 million only for it to become your least successful ever? Your dev processes are so pathetic you have to crunch time in the last 90 days just to give gamers unenthusiastic hand jobs. Although I guess I can't blame you for that because some people are just moronic and pre-ordering anyway. It's like CryptoZoo just on a bigger scale. But what I can blame you for is making your games all the same exact fucking thing just packaged differently. There's a lack of diversity in gameplay mechanics in favor of having more shallow shit to do. It's funny because open worlds aren't about exploration anymore. You're just completing a checklist in every area. What made Fallout New Vegas so good was you didn't know what you were gonna get when you entered a new area, and there's tons of environmental storytelling to be found in notes and logs. With the recent AC games, it just feels like I'm running errands and shopping for groceries. You min-maxed your development way too much. Fuck are you laughing at, Mr. 61% positive reviews? Starfield is barely open world when you show up in between your areas. And what happened to your dialogue?
I fucking invented edible food.
Up until Skyrim, your writing was so good, and then you went Amber Heard on the bed with Starfield. You sacrificed the depth you were so known for in favor of playtime. What are you, Ubisoft? Try putting a Cyberpunk quest next to a Starfield one and your game feels like it's a fucking tech demo. Hey, thank you, I actually put a lot of effort into making those games. Okay, Choom, but your game flatlined on launch for a year. Funny how a game about corporate greed became so hated because of, oh, ding ding, you guessed it, corporate greed. Sure, you made a huge comeback, but that's no excuse for your gonk execs making possibly the worst decision in gaming history. You and No Man's Sky should be in a round robin for worst launch ever. And before you say it's because of the investors, bro, just say it's not ready yet. The words no and shut the fuck up come to mind. Releasing games as often as you shit and then doing damage control is not sustainable, in case you haven't noticed. Trying to fix all the bugs like you're up against Terminids and Helldivers and then locking your finished content behind DLC paywalls, you fucking rat bastard. Speaking of Helldivers, thanks Sony for removing the game in my fucking region and locking it behind PSN. I said CDPR made the worst decision in gaming history, but I think there's a new king in town. This is the most clear-cut anti-consumer shit I've ever seen, and it's not even close. Sony, listen, you can only be anti-consumer for so long before consumers become anti-you. You're walking on thin fucking ice, buddy. Also, stop cock-blocking people from being able to play good games by locking them behind the PS5, you fucking cucks. Speaking of companies that require you to make a third-party account to play, how are you doing, Ubisoft? It's called Ubisoft because players are never hard watching any of your trailers. How are you gonna charge $70 and it's not even the entire game? You are charging 1.5 times the base game for a cosmetic pack and one mission. And on top of the pricing shit you're already running, you're gonna make me buy your V-Bucks too. Your microtransactions are clearly compensating for your micro penises. We're sick of paying $70 just to pay $20 just to pay $10 more. Listen, I know you guys gotta make money, but this is just not it. Also, just so you know, Skull and Bones is at the bottom of the ocean right now, being eaten by a Reaper Leviathan. Skull and Bones didn't fail because it's an original game, it's because Ubisoft and all you other guys don't know how to make a new game that isn't based on an existing IP because you're risk averse and complacent. Keep talking shit about Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate, we all know you're just pissed because you didn't make them. The release of these games each year is just like Christmas, it happens every year, and each year that it happens you get less and less happy. Real talk, Ubisoft and Activision. What happened to your creativity? Whatever happened to that young you that sought after employment in a AAA studio because it was your dream job? You're just going through the motions now. Tired of everything, constricted by your investors. All that can be done now is following the best practices like a marionette or leaving this cozy job and all the career progress that you have made. And so, you choose to go forward. Allow me to enumerate some adjectives gamers use to describe AAA gaming in the last 5 years. Unoriginal, unimaginative, repetitive, repetitive again, monotonous, a lot of synonyms of repetitive, greedy, unfinished, premature ejaculator, scams, rug pull, dog shit, too woke. People think AAA stories are shit because they're woke. That's not the problem. It's because they're poorly written and they just so happen to be woke. You'd think by now that writers of AAA studios would have come up with something that's woke and good, but they can't because they don't care enough. They don't care enough about their own agenda or the story to make something that's actually serviceable. You are pretentious cocksuckers who think that what they're doing is saving the world. End of story. Wait, you never gave it thought that if your story was shit while pushing an ideology, that people would also shun the ideology, and now you're mad that people are shitting on your ideology? Well, maybe if the story were good, people would get thinking about the ideology. Did you even assure the quality of the story you made? Or did you think, fuck it, this is good enough. All we need is to spread the word that this woke shit equals good. You were shallow in your thinking or negligent of the repercussions, which means you're either really stupid or you don't actually give a shit. In both cases, what do you think that says about the ideology that you're backing? There are grown men in COD lobbies screaming slurs like they're in the boondocks, and you think some shallow rainbow and sunshine shit is going to rehabilitate their brain rot? Stories in games don't fail because they're woke. I would even venture to say they fail because they're not woke enough. Now, I think you're just bigoted. And who the fuck are you? Sweet baby ink. How did you get in? Security! Actually, I was invited here, and I'll have you know we're reputable for consulting with a lot of... Yeah, I hope you and your white-hating friends have a nice day, you racist sacks of shit. I bet you hate the word white so much you don't even brush your teeth. You just leave that shit yellow until it browns like caramel. Now get out before I catch your stupid. What's next on the agenda? Right, let's talk layoffs. You guys are mass firing 300 to 500 people at a time. Meanwhile, your CEO is getting paid 300 times the average employee. I don't know about you, but maybe, just maybe, if you paid your people more, development would be better and we wouldn't be looking at these cum-stained games. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Blizzard, and by extension, Bobby Kotick. Mr. $77,000 an hour himself. Fuck out of here with your, we need another 400-man team to work on Overwatch 2's PvE. Bro, just pay your fucking employees. No wonder so many devs left you and left shit reviews on Glassdoor. But you know what? I'd take your spot any day, I'm not gonna lie, but I would at least drop it down to 76,999. Now, Overwatch 2, that's something I can't forgive. Your best game is on the streets begging for scraps. Congratulations on deciding to shit down your fans' throats. I hope you're happy, cause we're not. Promising PvE content you can't even fucking deliver, and you cry about your community leaving? What the fuck did you think was gonna happen? Also, your pricing to quality ratio is abysmal. Diablo is like $80 and their season pass is like, god damn, stop harassing players' wallets the way you do your employees. At this rate, you'll be worse than EA. Rapid fire mode. Call of Duty has lost its identity. Konami fired their best developer and fucked Metal Gear. Valve can't count to 3. You can't even sell skins in Valorant. Nintendo will claim your entire family as part of their IP. Far Cry is a far cry from what it used to be. Neil Druckmann forgot how a pen is used. Master Chief is too busy masturbating to fight on the front lines. And every AAA studio has negative reputation. You used to be called AAA gaming because you were the face of gaming. At the forefront of innovation. Gameplay, story, graphics, every aspect of every game was always in tip-top shape. It just worked.
But now, you've become complacent and you have earned the ire of gamers across the world. And for that, you must pay.
Okay, that's enough. Listen, I don't know how to tell you this, but you guys have outlived your useful lives. Either shape up or step out, because instead of exercising, you all became the people from Wall-E. Your old news and gaming needs bigger brains, better stories, girthier cocks, and a boob slider. You guys can come in now. These new guys are taking your place. Now get out. Now then, shall we discuss the future of gaming?